which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call the roll, please. All right, I'm going to call the roll. Miss Amel?
Here.
Miss Percival?
Here.
Miss Giovanni?
Here.
Miss Holmstad?
Here.
Mr. Scher?
Here.
Mr. Sampone?
Here.
Mr. Toth? Miss Wojcicki?
Here.
Miss Calderon?
Here.
Notice of the February 10th, 2025 meeting of the Board of Education was emailed to the clerks of the boroughs of Essex Fells, North Caldwell, and Roseland, and to the Township of Fairfield, and to the editor of the Progress on January 7th, 2025, and the Star Ledger on the same day. We had a couple of presentations here at night. We had the dance. If you would just, Jonathan, tell us about the dance.
Yes, my family and I got to attend the dance team showcase past Thursday, and it was fantastic. My sixth grader's already planning on auditioning for the dance team. She liked it so much. Just an incredible group of young ladies. They did a really fantastic performance.
Thank you. Deb, you attended. I attended the first Holocaust, but you and Mary attended the second one. So if you could just tell us about that.
Sure. Last week, I attended the Holocaust Remembrance event at the middle school. There was an amazing speaker. Her name is Ruth Ginsburg. She is the child of not one but two. Both of her parents were survivors of the camps, and each one had an absolutely unbelievable story that's kind of haunted me since then. I'm the daughter of a survivor. I am a student of the Holocaust, and I still was stunned by some of the stories that she shared. What was incredible to me was the way the students did not move throughout her presentation. And I mean, it was a long, I think it was really close to an hour presentation, and they were attentive, they were interested, engaged, and they took in a lot of really hard information. I was proud to see how well that message was received, and it was at the end of the day a story about not just suffering but also resilience. So I thought I was really impressed.
Mary?
I'm just going to second what Debbie said. It was amazing. The story, both her parents, like she said, survived the Holocaust. Little interesting little tidbit that Deb didn't mention. One of the presentations that she had up, her dad was in the picture there, so that was kind
one of the slides.
One of the slides, yeah. That's my dad.
They showed
So,
the liberation from Auschwitz, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh, that's my dad. So it
Yeah.
was,
Phenomenal stories, and something that we just have to, always keep in the forefront. The kids, like Debbie said, they were amazing. They sat there quiet. I want to thank Laura Drago and the rest of the administration for always, having presentations on the Holocaust and always keeping the kids educated on, that horrific time. And it was a great presentation. She was amazing.
We had a rough week last week. I think we should acknowledge that it was, a little over the top for our campus. But I'd like to thank all of those who made sure that everything was smoothly, all the communication. So I just want to acknowledge Mr. Machochi, Melissa, all the admins, the teachers, the staff, and the students who listened, followed the instructions, and the communication to the parents was phenomenal. I mean, up until, I think the last email was 7 o'clock at night, to just reassure everyone of what was happening. Unfortunately, we are in a world where social media and rumors and things, tend to go out as a forefront. And we were able to, catch certain things in the bud, and I'm glad that we are all safe, and we've acknowledged that these things can happen, and but we are prepared and we do our best. So I thank everyone here on campus for all of your hard work and doing everything so diligently for our staff and students.
Can I also add, I just want to acknowledge law enforcement as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Every town responded, and they did a phenomenal job, and just want to thank them as well.
that's it for you.
And just to speak off of what Ms. Calderon and Ms. Wajowitz said regarding the swatting incident, while there was no threat, our schools did respond swiftly and effectively. And this is a testament to the importance of the safety drills that we practice and the strong partnership that we have with our local law enforcement agencies. So their response was quick, and we're grateful to have that relationship with our North Caldwell and all of our sending district local law enforcement agencies. Just on school start times, okay, our second school start times committee meeting is scheduled for Thursday, February 27th. This one will be after school from 3 to 5 o'clock. The plan at that meeting is we'll hopefully have had all of our surveys administered, and the real main focus of that meeting will be our committee will be analyzing the survey results. And the target date for administering the survey is somewhere between February 21st and the 24th. The New Jersey Quality Single Accountability Continuum, also known as QSAC, okay, our district is in a QSAC year, and that is the Department of Education's monitoring and self-evaluation system for public school districts. Okay, the system focuses on monitoring and evaluating school districts in 5 key components that have been identified to be key factors in effective schools. The components include instruction and program, fiscal, governance, operations, and personnel. Reps from the DOE were on site last week. Our building walkthroughs were also last week. Preliminary feedback from the walkthroughs and visits so far was very positive. I just want to talk a little bit about the in-school suspension pilot program that I have I'm recommending to the board, which we hope to start on or about February 24th until the end of the school year. We have a couple staff members in mind to supervise students, and we have locations in each building that we have designated as the home base for the program. In-school suspension is a structured disciplinary intervention for middle school and high school students who have violated the code of conduct. ISS, I'll call it ISS, provides an alternative to out-of-school suspension for certain infractions. Okay, the benefits of ISS, one of them is accountability and supervision. Students remain in a controlled environment where they're monitored and held accountable for their actions. Academic continuity, which is really important. Unlike out-of-school suspension, students will continue their coursework while they're in the building under supervision, minimizing learning loss. They'll have access to Google Classroom, and there'll be a staff member in the room with them to help make sure that they're keeping up with their classwork. Behavioral reflection and support. Students will engage in reflection activities, counseling, or restorative practices to address behaviors and develop better decision-making skills. Often what we plan on doing is having our ABS from the middle school kind of push in to the in-school programs to help with the behavior and reflection piece. Reduced absenteeism is another benefit. ISS keeps our students in school, preventing them from falling behind academically and disengaging them from the school community. It's another benefit and value to ISS would be improved school climate. By addressing behavioral issues within the school setting, ISS helps reinforce expectations and promotes a more positive and supportive learning environment. Okay, while ISS will serve as an effective disciplinary measure, certain infractions will still warrant out-of-school suspension as necessary. However, ISS provides an additional tool to address behavioral concerns while maintaining student engagement and reinforcing positive behavior. So we are interested in adding this in, like I said, sometime near the end of February, and piloting this program for the remainder of the school year. And that's a superintendent's report. Turn it over to Emily, our student board rep. Anything you want to say,
I would just like to report on me and Ms. Westervelt did come in, or Dr. Westervelt, we came to a conclusion with the decorating of the graduation caps. In order to keep the graduation ceremony very beautiful and organized like we always do, we're just going to have kids who would like to decorate the caps buy a second one, and if they want to decorate it for like photos and just, you know, for fun, they can do that. While during the ceremony, we're just going to wear the regular graduation caps and keep it as it will be. And there's nothing else I have to report on. Thank you.
Okay, so Mr. DiLiberto and I have the pleasure, let me just go back to that one slide for a second. I just want to make this announcement. Of presenting, giving you guys an update on our district goals. But I just wanted to calendar reminders. At the end of the week, we're going into President's Weekend. So Friday, we're on a single session day, 12:17 dismissal. Closed on Monday, the 17th for President's Day. That students and staff are both out. And then on Tuesday, the 18th, the students are out and staff are in for a full day of professional development. Mr. DiLiberto will give you guys a nice update on what we're doing on that day for PD. All right.
Okay, so at a prior board meeting, I actually introduced both our new district goals and explained the rationale and how we ended up adopting those district goals. And just to very briefly summarize, those goals were both lifted directly from the strategic plan, okay, that had voluntary committees that worked over the course of a year to develop some of those goals. So they were lifted directly from there. Mr. Michochi is going to talk about district goal number 2 in a few moments, ensuring a positive and inclusive school culture and climate. But I'd like to update you on where we are at this point of the year on district goal number 1. And again, there's a lot of data that helped inform the adoption of these goals. And especially there were two different surveys that consistently identified utility of learning consistently or usefulness of what students are learning or the practical applications of what students are learning as an area of opportunity. Hence, we have a district goal, cultivate career readiness and real-world learning experiences for students. And one way to really create real-world learning experiences for students is to create interdisciplinary units, okay, or interdisciplinary lessons. Because the more subjects, the more disciplines you can draw into a lesson or a unit, the more that emulates real-world problem solving. So that's exactly what we did for our first few professional development days, and we had a 3-part professional development series on interdisciplinary design. And here's just a couple pictures of those. And these are professional development dates from August 27th, September 16th, and October 14th. And we modeled an interdisciplinary unit about trees and vegetation, something that's passionate for me, but it could easily have been about social media or anything else. Could have been any other topic. Okay, we looked at heat islands in a science class, carbon sequestration in a math class, and some of the equations thereof. And even in a humanities class, we looked at redlining. And even throughout these lessons, we also modeled some of the pedagogical strategies that we had identified through classroom observations as also some areas that could potentially have some improvement. Additionally, we took a real deep dive into our curriculum recently and identified a bunch of areas within each curriculum where there are opportunities for this kind of interdisciplinary design. Okay, this was prompted in part from CUSAC because CUSAC prompts you to really audit your entire curriculum. So while in so doing, we were able to identify these areas, and they're in the process of being shared with teachers. And just keep in mind, this is like a first step to really plan these types of lessons. It takes a while. It's a lot of collaboration, a lot of planning time involved. But those things are in the works, and in the later half of this year and into next year, I expect to see some really interesting things. And I've seen some really cool things already, especially at the middle school where I am now, where that team model that they use really lends itself to these type of lessons. And moving on. So I assume that most people watched the Super Bowl last night. I wonder, did anybody see the ChatGPT commercial? So there's a ChatGPT commercial in there. If you haven't seen it, after the board meeting, just look it up on YouTube. It's actually a pretty cool little commercial. It's this pixelated kind of summary of humanity's progress through technology. And it's done pretty well. It's like 30-second little bit, but very interesting. But anyway, the point is, artificial intelligence is here. Okay, it's been here. It's not going anywhere. It's here just as sure as the calculator or Chromebooks. Okay, and it is our job as educators to navigate the appropriate uses of artificial intelligence, both in the classroom and out of the classroom. Okay, and if we really want to cultivate career readiness and real-world learning experience for students, then we have to develop a practical approach to AI. Okay? Now, our PD day on Tuesday is dedicated just about entirely to artificial intelligence. Okay? And I do want to thank our Artificial Intelligence Committee and the SCIPs, the School Improvement Panel, at both the high school and the middle school, just for helping to guide our pacing and some of our decisions thus far. But here are some of the topics that are going to be the topics for our workshops on Tuesday. First, we have just a keynote, generally talking about teaching in the world of AI. Where did AI come from? How long has it been around? What are some of the myths about AI? What can it do? What can't it do? What should we be careful of? And then here are some of the sessions that teachers can choose from. Rethinking learning in the age of AI. Introduction to AI for SEL and student well-being. Very appropriate for counselors, case managers. AI across STEM. So that's an advanced class, because obviously when we look at our faculty and staff as a whole, we have many varying comfort levels and experience levels with artificial intelligence. So we have everybody that's just a complete beginner, then we have some people that are intermediate to advanced. This AI across STEM is really designed for computer science, STEM teachers, even our IT department would be going to that. What else can AI do? Prompt engineering. Prompt engineering is a huge component of really learning artificial intelligence. What you put in and the quality of what you put in is going to determine the quality of the output. So prompt engineering is a very large component of learning artificial intelligence. Getting creative with AI, obviously that's going to talk about some of the more creative things that we can do in an art or music class. And then, of course, not so much AI related, but we are doing CPA first aid recertification for during our last session for all our coaches as well. I just wanted to stick that in there. So that's what next Tuesday will look like for our staff, and I'm very excited about it. So our arts wing, many of us were down there on a tour earlier this year. Our arts wing has just gotten a massive upgrade that is now reflective of the curriculum and relevant work being done in those classes. And this is a great example of our facility now really aligning with the broader instructional goals of our arts program. Okay, the culinary arts classes in recent years have adopted a much more commercial approach to culinary arts, and now we have a kitchen that can facilitate that, and a kitchen, a commercial kitchen that can also, it has the capability of catering a lot of our in-house events, which many of you have experienced firsthand. And we also have a new STEM room. That STEM room houses our engineering, architecture, and robotics courses, and they can now operate with greater capability, accuracy, and efficiency. And I do want to thank the board for all their support, and I especially want to thank Melissa Kita and Toulon Fetty for overseeing those construction projects. I know that's it's a little harrowing, but it got done, and they look fantastic. And finally, I'd like to talk about pictures. Sorry, little art swing. And finally, I know that Greg Ashoff at the last board meeting mentioned some of these things, but they are pretty significant. So they warrant mentioning again. The mastery program and our building thinking classrooms program. So our mastery program promotes mastery of fundamental concepts by allowing students to retake certain tests as many times as it takes until they pass it. Okay? Sounds like a simple concept, but when you apply it to all your classes from grades 7 to 11, it can make a really big difference, and that's what we're hoping for. And similarly, building thinking classrooms is a pedagogical model that pushes students to arrive at answers without necessarily getting a direct answer from the teacher, which sometimes will greatly frustrate students, but it is a different pedagogical approach that seems to foster a little bit greater resilience in the classroom. So both of these programs are intended not only to raise scores in our math department and our math scores, but also to foster sustained critical thinking skills and resilience. These are just the highlights. Of course, when we're talking about real-world learning experiences and career readiness, when our supervisors go into classrooms, when they conduct observations for the teachers, they're looking for these, okay? And that's always the feedback now with these being the district goals. What are the practical applications of this learning? That's a lot of the feedback that teachers would be getting in most classes. And I believe that brings us to Damien from the church with goal number 2.
Thank you, Mr. DiLiberto. Okay, so one of the main objectives of our school has always been and should always be that we can create an environment where all members of our school community feel safe, valued, and connected. With that, then a lot of other great things can happen in the school. So ensuring a positive, inclusive school culture and climate is our district goal number 2. And I'm just going to touch on a couple of some of the activities that we've been working on this year to achieve that goal. So first and foremost, we have a district culture and climate coordinator. That's Lisa Hulse, our director of guidance. She does a fantastic job of working with 2 culture and climate teams, 1 in each building. The teams that we have are made up of parents, students of all grade levels, and staff. Along with our school improvement panels, we call them SKIP teams. Together they meet, they brainstorm, they listen to the voices of our kids and the stakeholders, and from there they'll take that feedback and then they'll get into the building and start taking action on whatever happens to come up. So those teams have been a tremendous resource for us to help with getting the different activities going in the buildings. Okay, one of our biggest initiatives right now is our No Place for Hate program. As you know, last year was the first year that we ran that program, and we did receive a Gold Star Award for it. This year we are, back at it with the No Place for Hate program. Just to kind of give you an outline of how those activities went this year. We did our pledge signing, and we had our kickoff assemblies back in October. And the first pledge signing activity took place in all of our English classes. We had our second round of in-class lessons, and they were in all of our social studies classes, and those activities were in November. And in the middle school, the topic was examining stereotypes, and at high school, the topic was gossip and rumors. And all these topics come right from the Culture and Climate Committee teams from each building. They hear what the kids are saying, they hear from the teachers, from the parents, and together they develop the activities that they feel are most relevant to the school. And then our activities get submitted to the ADL, and the Anti-Defamation League approves them. Okay, our next round of in-class lessons are going to be this month, and at the middle school, they're going to occur in all of our reading classes, and at the high school in all of our math classes. And this topic will be understanding a digital footprint, basically, educating our students so they learn about responsible social media use. Okay, and if you notice too, we try to make sure that the no place for hate activities, we spread it around into different content areas. This way we're not always going into the same classes, and it also allows teachers from the different content areas, they get to lead those different lessons. Okay, I just want to give you, these are the banners that the kids made, the pledge signing banners, the one to block the hate, do not participate, the red and black one, those are little hearts. All the kids signed the pledge. That's in the high school. And then the one on the right-hand side are cell phones. And those, I can't even see it from here. We send love, not hate. So those kids all signed, that's the banner that they came up with at the middle school. And again, those were right from the kids. They came up with the concept, they came up with the design, and they and that's what's really great about this program is it's all student led. So they own it. It's not us just telling them, you need to do this or do that. So okay, just break down the buildings a little bit. Okay, so in the middle school, okay, their big motto is "We care." Okay, collaboration, awareness, resilience, and empathy. So a lot of what goes on in the building kind of revolves around that "We care" acronym. Okay. Assemblies this year, big push at the middle school for both 7th and 8th graders, a variety of assemblies. A lot of them focused on cyberbullying, anti-bullying, character education, and those were Mikey Fallon, Lauren Mariello, Sergeant Rich, and the Mayhem Poets was a new one this year. They're kind of like a group of actors. They come in and they do some rapping, and they get the kids kind of motivated, and they're funny, and they're talented, and it's all kind of about anti-bullying. And then the other assembly, which was mentioned today by Mrs. Hollenstadt, was our Holocaust assembly. A couple other things facility-wise, we have our chill room, which is for de-escalation and calming. A lot of kids like to go there. We have our Zen Den, which is another room. Kids go there for meditation, mindfulness, and silent reading. We have our peer leadership program here. It's called We Lead at the middle school. And our 8th graders, they kind of get the 7th graders, oriented to the building and then stay with them for the year. And then one of the other things that we did, this came right from the students in the middle school, is we did an inventory audit. And this year, as a result of that, we have a middle school musical and we have an esports program here. And then just a couple things for the staff, dress in denim. We have wellness days. Mecca and NJ Spine, they come in and they'll do chair massages for the teachers. School improvement panels, again, those are the panels where the teachers get to participate and they have a voice. And this year is primarily dedicated on the 18th of February to artificial intelligence. However, we sprinkled a little wellness component in there as well. High school, just a couple highlights from the high school. A couple different clubs that we have. And Dr. Westervelt, and this was started by Mr. DiLiberto, the Multicultural Club, and a big initiative to get student voice in the building. I know Dr. Westervelt does meet with our kids all the time, and anytime something does come up, they try to resolve it with the kids and see if they can come to some kind of agreement. They might not always agree, but they usually are able to come to some type of consensus. We did have the Holocaust Assembly this year at the high school for 9th and 11th graders. The administrators do a big assembly with all the grade levels on the second day of school, where each grade level has their own assembly with the administration, and the administration really does a great job of outlining what the expectations are for a high school student. We had the electives course fair this year, where the 8th graders went down to the high school and got to go around and see all the electives that they can take in 9th grade. We had the Winter Wellness Fair run by the Guidance Department. It was kind of like Exhale before the holiday break. And Mrs. Hulse put together a whole thing where they had different activities, snacks, snow cone machines, different things going on throughout the building. We also brought therapy dogs in during midterms this year, and that was a huge hit in the high school. And I know that Dr. Dunleavy is looking at perhaps piloting a therapy dog program here in the middle school at some point this year. I've never seen kids go so crazy for dogs. It was like everybody was coming to that room to see the dogs. And then we have a very successful peer leadership program at the high school as well. And then just some of the staff, similar to what we're doing in the middle school, dress in denim, where the teachers will wear denim and will donate money to a cause. Wellness days, again, our two major vendors that come in are Mecca and New Jersey Spine. The skip panels, and then again on the 18th, a wellness component at our PD day. And then for the second year in a row, the high school is running a Night of Knowledge, which is a community event scheduled for March 5th. So stay tuned for that information that'll come out from the high school principal. And on the topic of staff wellness, not that this is healthy, but I just want to give a shout out to some of our local vendors for donating lunch on February 18th. We have about 60 pizzas being donated to the teachers. And our two assistant principals, Jeff Martin and Amanda, went out to the to our local vendors from Fairfield, and they'll be donating pizza. So thank you to Boardwalk Pizzeria, Il Panino, Delizio, Gencarelli's from Pine Brook. Zest is donating pastries, as well as the Cannoli Shop in Fairfield is donating pastries. So anytime free food is available for teachers, you can make them very happy. So I want to thank our community vendors for donating to the school. And that's our report for tonight.
Any comments from board members? Okay, I just want to note before we go forward, just a few things. I was just reading one of the notices, and I know that it's out on the website, but just so the board members know and other people, tomorrow is Support the Maskers at the Cloverleaf. So if you can go there and just mention the Maskers, they get a percentage going back to them. On the 12th is Chipotle, and that's Give the Kids the World. That's from 4 to 8, and if you go and mention, they'll also give a percentage. On the 13th, it's Krispy Kreme at the high school, so that's great for all of you. And there's a variety of Valentine's Day specials and events going on for the kids to take care of during this week. So it's all just great things to kind of, get all in gear, have a great 3-day weekend, and just to enjoy it a little bit better. So with that being said, Jonathan, you have a finance committee report for us?
I do, yes. The finance committee met on February 3rd in the evening. We were here about 2.5 to 3 hours. All members of the committee were present. It was our first meeting of the year, so obviously everything is very preliminary and has a lot of potential to change. We're facing some potential increases for next year in mandatory costs, such as benefits and things like that. But obviously we will work hard to make it work in a fiscally responsible manner.
Thank you. Appreciate it. At this time, we'll open the floor to public comments on agenda items only. Mr. DiLiberto, want to say something? You could be there and wear many hats, Thank you to Mr. DiLiberto and Mr. Matroci for your presentation. We appreciate it. With that being said, let's go on to finance motions. Jonathan, please.
The following finance motions are made at the recommendation of the superintendent of schools. Anything placed on this agenda, items 1 through 4, we voted upon in one motion, and I so move.
Any questions, concerns, board members?
Ms. Amo?
Yes.
Ms. Cristobal?
Yes.
Ms. DiGiovanni?
Yes.
Ms. Hollenstat?
Yes.
Mr. Scher?
Yes.
Mr. Sampone?
Yes.
Mr. Toth?
Yes.
Ms. Wadowitz?
Yes.
Ms. Calderon?
Yes. Alicia, building and grounds, please.
The following building and grounds motions are made as a recommendation of the superintendent of schools. Anything placed on this agenda item will be voted upon in one motion. Motion?
Second.
Any questions? Okay.
Ms. Amo?
Yes.
Ms. Cristobal?
Yes.
Ms. DiGiovanni?
Yes.
Ms. Hollenstat?
Yes.
Mr. Scher?
Yes.
Mr. Sampone?
Yes.
Mr. Toth?
Yes.
Ms. Wadowitz?
Yes.
Ms. Calderon?
Yes. John, personnel, please.
The following personnel motions are made at the recommendation of the superintendent of schools. Anything placed on this agenda, items 1 through 22, will be voted upon in one motion. I so move.
Second.
Questions?
Ms. Amo?
Yes.
Ms. Cristobal?
Yes.
Ms. DiGiovanni?
Yes.
Ms. Hollenstat?
Yes.
Mr. Scher?
Yes.
Mr. Sampone?
Yes on items 1 and 2. Recuse myself on number 3, and yes 4 through 22.
Okay. Mr. Toth?
Yes.
Ms. Wadowitz?
Yes.
Ms. Calderon?
Yes. Debbie, curriculum, please.
Following curriculum, special education motions are made at the recommendation of the superintendent of schools. Anything placed on this agenda, items 1 through 6, will be voted upon in one motion, and I so move.
Second.
Questions?
Ms. Amo?
Yes.
Ms. Cristobal?
Yes.
Ms. DiGiovanni?
Yes.
Ms. Hollenstat?
Yes.
Mr. Scher?
Yes.
Mr. Sampone?
Recuse myself on number 1 and 2, and yes 3 through 6.
Okay. Mr. Toth?
Yes.
Ms. Wadowitz?
Yes.
Ms. Calderon?
Yes. Ruth, miscellaneous, please.
The following miscellaneous motions are made at the recommendation of the superintendent of schools. Anything placed on this agenda, items 1 through 3 will be voted upon in one motion, and I so move.
Second.
Questions?
Ms. Amo?
Yes.
Ms. Cristobal?
Yes.
Ms. DiGiovanni?
Yes.
Ms. Hollenstat?
Yes.
Mr. Scher?
Yes.
Mr. Sampone?
Yes.
Mr. Toth?
Yes.
Ms. Wadowitz?
Yes.
Ms. Calderon?
Yes. Okay, at this time, we'll open the floor to public for comments on non-agenda items. Caesar? You're the poor victim tonight. Okay. Actually, Caesar, Mary and I we attended the virtual meeting. We thought about
Oh,
you.
Essex County School Boards,
You want
yeah.
to give it,
Oh, okay.
give it quick? No, go ahead.
Oh, no, they were just, most of the, last Thursday, I guess it was the Essex County School Boards meeting. It was a virtual meeting, but it was all about sustainable New Jersey.
Oh,
Which
yeah.
I think we are a part of that still, right? Or,
We
isn't
haven't
it to
gotten-
certify?
We were certified in 2020.
Okay,
We haven't gotten an updated certification since then. But,
okay.
I mean,
I think they said it was good for a couple of years, and then you
Right.
have to just
yeah,
reapply and do a bunch of different things, so.
Yeah.
We were curious if we were still a sustainable New Jersey school.
I'll look into it. I don't know if, so that's like 4 years ago now. I'm not sure if
Yeah.
that certification is still valid, but I mean, like you said, we wouldn't take that much to get recertified.
Right.
Thank you. I
The
appreciate
board
it.
meeting before that, the three of us, I think, attended, was all about AI and
Oh,
really
yeah.
productive use of AI, so I'm particularly excited to hear what's coming down the pike next week. So we learned some really interesting things, and it's nice to see without it even having been there, you're applying them, so.
Yeah, Tuesday should be good. We're looking forward to it.
And who's the guy that did the presentation on AI?
He was fabulous.
He was amazing.
He was
Yeah.
from Seton Hall, wasn't he?
I'll have to go
I don't
back
have
to
to
my
get his
notes.
So we partnered with Kiker Learning, and they're an organization that specializes in instructional technology. They're also one of the few actual Google partners that Google actually partner with. And they're sending 3 trainers, so that we have 3 coming from Kiker to run all those different sessions.
Okay, our next board meeting will be March 3rd. We wish everyone a happy Valentine's Day. Enjoy your long weekend. Be safe, and hopefully we're not going to have too much snow this week to interfere with our schedule. Okay, with that being said, Mary, would you read us out?
Sure. There being no further business before this Board of Education, be it resolved that this public meeting be adjourned at 8:10. Motion to adjourn?